There are planets out there that defy the laws of reality. Some appear for a brief moment, seen, recorded, even calculated, only to vanish without a trace. Others influence the orbits of distant worlds, hinting at their presence, yet remain completely undetectable. Ghost planets, phantom worlds. Are these glitches in our understanding of the universe, or is something far stranger at play? For centuries, astronomers, scientists, and even space agencies have chased after these elusive celestial objects. Some were once accepted as real planets, mapped, named, studied, before being mysteriously erased from history. Others still haunt the edges of scientific discovery, with evidence suggesting they should be there. Yet no telescope can find them. What if planets can disappear? What if they can hide? This isn't just a story of miscalculations. It's a journey into the strangest planetary mysteries ever recorded. And it all begins with a world that once existed, until it didn't. It was the 1800s, and the world of astronomy was on the brink of chaos. Something wasn't right with Mercury's orbit. The numbers didn't add up. It was as if an invisible force was tugging at it, pulling it ever so slightly off course. But what could be causing it? There was only one explanation: a hidden planet, one that orbited even closer to the Sun. This wasn't just a wild theory. The same man who'd successfully predicted the existence of Neptune, Urbain Le Verrier, was certain he had found another planet, Vulcan. Then something even stranger happened. People started seeing it. Astronomers, scientists, and even amateur skywatchers claimed to witness a dark, moving object near the Sun. Some saw it transit across its surface. Others caught fleeting glimpses through telescopes. Reports poured in from different parts of the world, each sighting reinforcing the belief that Vulcan was real. But then, it was gone. Decades passed, and despite relentless searching, no one could find Vulcan again. Some claimed it was merely hiding behind the Sun, locked in an orbit that made it nearly impossible to detect. Others suggested that Vulcan was no ordinary planet, that it existed only under certain conditions, visible just long enough to deceive astronomers before fading into nothingness. And then came Albert Einstein. His theory of relativity shattered the Vulcan mystery. The strange pull on Mercury's orbit wasn't caused by a hidden planet. It was caused by the very fabric of space-time itself, bending under the Sun's intense gravity. The world had been chasing a ghost. But here's the eerie part. Even after Einstein's discovery, the sightings never completely stopped. As late as the 20th century, reports still surfaced of a mysterious dark object lurking near the Sun. Some pilots claimed to have seen something unusual while flying at high altitudes. Amateur astronomers whispered about shadowy anomalies that defied explanation. If Vulcan was nothing more than a mistake, then why do reports of an unknown object still persist to this day? Was it a trick of light? A collective illusion? Or is there something else? Something lurking within the Sun's blinding glare, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself again? For over a century, astronomers have been haunted by the possibility that something massive lurks in the distant reaches of our solar system. A hidden world, so far away that even our most powerful telescopes have failed to find it. They call it Planet X. The mystery began in the late 1800s when astronomers noticed something strange. The orbits of Uranus and Neptune weren't behaving as they should. They were slightly off, as if an unseen force, something enormous, was tugging on them from beyond the edge of the solar system. At first it seemed like history was repeating itself. After all, this was exactly how Neptune was discovered, by tracking the gravitational anomalies in Uranus's orbit. So, using the same method, astronomers began calculating the location of a ninth planet. The evidence was undeniable. Something had to be there. And then came the search. For decades, observatories around the world hunted for this elusive world. In 1930, Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto, but it was far too small to be Planet X. The gravitational anomalies persisted. Pluto wasn't the answer. Then, in 1983, NASA's Infrared Astronomical Satellite, IRAS, detected a mysterious object beyond Neptune, something huge. For a brief moment, astronomers thought they had found it. Headlines exploded with speculation about a giant unknown planet, but before the excitement could build, the story vanished. NASA dismissed the object as a distant galaxy, and just like that, Planet X slipped into obscurity once again. And yet, the mystery refuses to die. In 2016, astronomers at Caltech uncovered new indirect evidence. The orbits of certain distant objects in the Kuiper Belt were behaving strangely, as if being influenced by a planet at least 10 times the mass of Earth. But where is it? If something so massive exists, why has no telescope been able to capture it? Some believe it's simply too dark and too far away for our instruments to detect. Others suggest it may be a rogue planet, an object that doesn't follow the usual rules of planetary motion, drifting unpredictably through space. And then there are the theories that go even further. What if Planet X isn't just a planet? Some researchers have speculated that it could be something much stranger, a failed star, a wandering black hole, or even a remnant of a long-lost twin of our Sun, cast away billions of years ago. One thing is certain, something is out there. The gravitational clues are undeniable. The calculations suggest an enormous hidden force lurking at the edge of our solar system. And yet it refuses to be found. Is Planet X real? Or is it just another cosmic illusion, a phantom world that exists only in numbers and theories? Or worse, could it be hiding for a reason? What if Earth once had a twin? A second planet, nearly identical, orbiting alongside us, until it vanished without a trace. For centuries, myths and ancient texts have spoken of a mysterious counter-Earth, a hidden world on the opposite side of the Sun, forever concealed from our view. A planet that shares our orbit so perfectly that it remains locked in a cosmic game of hide-and-seek. Sounds like pure science fiction, right? But then, the science started pointing towards something unsettling. In the 1950s, the renowned astrophysicist Immanuel Velikovsky proposed that, in ancient times, a planetary body may have existed near Earth, a twin world that was somehow lost. His ideas were controversial, but they sparked intense debate. Then, in the 1970s, a strange discovery added fuel to the fire. Scientists noticed odd gravitational anomalies, subtle shifts in the movements of planets that shouldn't have been there. Some began to speculate, could there be an unknown object on the far side of the Sun, hiding in perfect synchronization with Earth? But then things got even weirder. In 1999, NASA's SOHO spacecraft, designed to observe the Sun, detected something unexplainable. A large dark object appeared in its images, seemingly positioned in a spot where no known planet should be. The anomaly sparked wild theories, with some convinced this was proof of the hidden twin. NASA dismissed it as a sensor error, but what if it wasn't? The concept of a lost twin Earth isn't as crazy as it sounds. Astronomers now believe that in the chaotic early days of the solar system, multiple Earth-sized planets could have existed. Some may have collided, merging into a single world. Others may have been flung into deep space, cast away by the violent gravitational forces of our Sun. If so, could a second Earth have once existed alongside us? Could it have been absorbed, destroyed, or perhaps relocated? Some theories go even deeper. What if this twin planet was deliberately hidden? Could it have been covered in a thick, dark atmosphere that absorbs all light, making it nearly impossible to detect? Could it exist in an orbit that keeps it forever obscured behind the Sun? Or what if it left? A rogue world, once sharing our place in the solar system, now drifting somewhere in the vastness of space, unseen, unknown, but still leaving behind whispers of its former existence. The search continues. Scientists are now using advanced orbital simulations and deep space telescopes to probe the far side of the Sun. If a lost twin ever existed, its fingerprints may still be out there, hidden in the data. But if we ever do find it, the biggest question remains, where did it go? And why did it disappear in the first place? Imagine a planet so real that astronomers around the world documented it, tracked its movements, and even mapped its orbit. A planet that appeared in textbooks, scientific journals, and observatories for decades, and then, one day, it simply vanished. No explosion, no impact, no slow decay. It was just gone. This is the chilling case of planet Vulcan, one of the greatest disappearances in astronomical history. The story begins in the 1800s, when astronomers noticed something odd about Mercury's orbit. The planet wasn't moving exactly as expected. It was slightly off, as if an unseen force was pulling on it. The same way Neptune's presence was detected by its effect on Uranus, scientists concluded that there must be another planet closer to the Sun, exerting its own gravitational influence. They named it Vulcan. For years, astronomers across the world claimed to have seen Vulcan. Observations were recorded, its position was mapped, and reports of its existence were published in scientific journals. Some even claimed to have seen it transiting across the Sun. It was there until it wasn't. Despite decades of reports, something felt off. No telescope ever got a clear image of Vulcan. Some astronomers even contradicted each other. One would claim to have seen it in one place only for another to report it elsewhere. Then, in 1915, Einstein delivered his general theory of relativity. With it, he explained why Mercury's orbit was strange. It wasn't being pulled by an invisible planet. Instead, the warping of space-time around the sun was affecting its motion. Suddenly, the need for Vulcan vanished, and so did the planet itself. The world that had been seen for decades, recorded by some of the greatest minds in astronomy, was now considered a mistake. The scientific community erased it, dismissing all prior sightings as errors, optical illusions, or wishful thinking. But here's the eerie part. Some astronomers, even after Einstein's theory, continued to see something. Reports of a strange object near the sun persisted well into the 20th century. Some still claim that a small, hidden body might exist, lost in the sun's glare, something too elusive for modern instruments to detect. Could Vulcan have been real? A world that once existed but somehow vanished from our reality? Or was it something else entirely? A phantom planet, seen by many, yet never truly found. The case of Vulcan remains one of the most unsettling mysteries in astronomy, but it's not the only planet that science erased. Because next, we'll uncover a world that was officially mapped, until one day the maps themselves were changed. There are planets that astronomers struggle to find, and then there are planets that shouldn't exist at all. Take 55 Cancri, a bizarre world 41 light-years away. When it was first discovered, scientists believed it was a super-Earth, a rocky planet twice the size of Earth, orbiting its star in just 18 hours. But the more they studied it, the stranger it became. At first, scientists thought they had found a planet covered in lava, with temperatures soaring above 2,000 degrees Celsius. Then, later studies suggested it might actually be a diamond planet, formed almost entirely from crystallized carbon. But as observations continued, something unsettling happened. The planet started behaving strangely. Its brightness fluctuated in ways no one could explain. Its temperature seemed to shift unpredictably. And then, most disturbingly, astronomers noticed that, at times, it wasn't there at all. Yes, 55 Cancri, a planet that had been extensively studied, seemed to vanish from telescopic data at random intervals. One observation would detect it, and the next would show nothing. It was as if the planet was phasing in and out of existence. Scientists were baffled. Some suggested that perhaps its orbit was changing due to gravitational interactions with another unseen world. Others speculated that dense clouds of carbon vapor might be masking it, making it appear and disappear like a mirage. But then, a far more chilling theory emerged. What if 55 Cancri is not a normal planet at all? Some physicists have proposed the existence of brain worlds, planets that flicker between different dimensions. According to certain interpretations of string theory, some cosmic objects might exist in a higher dimensional space, only appearing in our reality when certain conditions align. Could 55 Cancri be one of these interdimensional objects? Or, more unsettling, what if it was never really a planet to begin with? What if what we're seeing isn't a planet, but a distortion, a crack in the fabric of space-time, briefly revealing something from another reality? Whatever the answer is, one thing is clear. This planet defies the laws of physics. It is there until it isn't. A planet that refuses to stay in place. A world that appears, vanishes, and reappears as if playing a cosmic trick on the universe itself. And it's not the only one, because next we'll dive into the eerie case of a planet that astronomers officially placed on star charts, only to later erase it from history. There was once a time when astronomers believed in a planet hidden in our own solar system. Not beyond Pluto, not in a distant star system, but orbiting Earth itself. They called it Lilith. For years, some scientists claimed that a mysterious second moon, a dark invisible object, was orbiting our planet. Unlike our familiar bright moon, this phantom world was supposedly made of a strange, light-absorbing material, making it nearly impossible to detect. But why did they believe in it? It started in the early 20th century when astronomers noticed unexplained anomalies in the movement of the moon and artificial satellites. The best explanation? A hidden celestial body exerting its influence on Earth. Several astronomers even reported sightings of Lilith. They described it as a faint, shadowy object lurking near the moon, only visible under specific conditions. Some believed it was a captured asteroid. Others suggested it was a remnant from Earth's formation, a piece of our planet that had broken off long ago. Then, in the 1960s, something eerie happened. Lilith, which had been documented in astronomical discussions for years, suddenly vanished from official records. Astronomers stopped talking about it. It was removed from star charts. Scientific papers that once speculated on its existence abandoned the idea. It was as if the planet had been erased. Skeptics claim that Lilith never existed in the first place. that the sightings were just optical illusions or mistakes in observation. But a lingering question remains: why were so many convinced that it was real? Even stranger, in recent years astronomers have rediscovered odd anomalies in the Earth-Moon system. Small, unexplained gravitational effects suggest there may be something still lurking nearby, an unseen mass hiding in the darkness. Could Lilith have been real all along? If so, what happened to it? Did it break apart? Was it swallowed by some unknown cosmic force? Or was it never a normal object to begin with? Some theorists suggest that Lilith wasn't just a missing moon, but something far more unsettling, a wandering fragment of a larger unknown entity, a dark object still circling Earth, invisible to the human eye, watching from the shadows. And it wouldn't be the first time planets have seemingly disappeared from our own solar system, because next we'll uncover the mystery of a planet that was once believed to exist beyond Neptune, a planet so real that astronomers named it and mapped it, until one day, like all the others, it was gone. For more than a century, astronomers have hunted for a planet that was supposed to be there. A planet whose presence was calculated, whose gravitational effects were observed, and whose existence seemed all but certain. They called it Planet X. The story begins in the 19th century, when astronomers noticed that Uranus and Neptune weren't moving exactly as expected. Their orbits were slightly off, as if some massive, unseen object was pulling on them from beyond. This was exactly how Neptune itself was discovered, by studying the strange movements of Uranus. Scientists had successfully predicted the presence of one hidden planet before, so surely they thought there must be another. By the early 1900s, astronomers were convinced that a large, unknown planet, Planet X, was lurking in the outer reaches of the solar system. Some even estimated its size and orbit, believing it to be several times the mass of Earth. Then, in 1930, Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto. For a moment, astronomers thought they had found Planet X. But Pluto was too small. Its gravity wasn't strong enough to explain the anomalies in Neptune's orbit. The real Planet X had to be something much bigger. And so, the search continued. For decades, astronomers scanned the skies, certain that Planet X was just waiting to be found. Then something strange happened. As measurement techniques improved, scientists realized that Neptune's orbit was actually behaving normally. There were no unexplained anomalies. Planet X wasn't needed anymore. Suddenly, the once inevitable hidden world became a ghost. Astronomers dismissed it, calling it a mistake, an illusion, a miscalculation. What was once considered a near certainty was now deemed a myth. But here's where it gets even stranger. Some astronomers never stopped searching. They continued to find hints of something lurking in the darkness beyond Neptune. Unusual gravitational forces, odd orbital tilts, even strange, icy objects behaving as if they were being influenced by something massive. Could Planet X have been real all along? Modern theories suggest that it might not be a normal planet. Some scientists believe that a massive, dark, ice-covered world, or even a rogue planet that entered our system long ago, could still be lurking in the Kuiper Belt or beyond. Others have proposed something even more unsettling. What if Planet X was real, but it's not there anymore? What if it was destroyed, pulled into the sun, or even removed from our reality by some unknown cosmic event? There's even a chilling theory that suggests it never left at all. Only our ability to see it was taken away. Could there be a colossal world, hidden just beyond our reach, exerting its influence from the shadows? And if so, why did we forget it existed? The deeper we search, the more we realize that the universe does not play by our rules. And next we'll uncover a case so bizarre that it defies all logic. A planet that shouldn't exist, but somehow it does. Some planets bend the rules of physics, others shatter them completely. And then there's GJ1214b, a planet so bizarre, scientists are still struggling to explain how it even exists. This world orbits a dim red dwarf star just 40 light-years away. When astronomers first detected it, they thought it was a super-Earth, a rocky world just a little bigger than our own. But the more they studied it, the stranger it became. First, they discovered that it's way too light for a rocky planet. Instead of a solid Earth-like surface, GJ1214b seems to be made of something else. Then they realized its atmosphere is impossibly thick, so dense that it blocks nearly all light from escaping. This means that even though the planet is relatively close to its star, we can't see what's underneath. But here's where things get truly unsettling. Studies suggest that GJ1214b might be a planet covered in a thick global ocean. But this is no ordinary ocean. The pressure and temperature are so extreme that the water might exist in an exotic state, not solid, not liquid, not gas, but something else entirely. a form of hot ice or superfluid water that doesn't behave like anything we've ever seen. Think about that. A planet shrouded in dense, impenetrable clouds, covered in an endless ocean, filled with a mysterious alien liquid that defies the laws of physics. And it gets even weirder. Astronomers have found that its atmosphere is growing thicker over time. But how? What process is fueling this? Some believe that GJ1214b may be a failed gas giant, a planet that tried to become a Neptune-like world but never fully formed. Others suggest that it might be slowly evaporating, its outer layers bleeding into space, creating an eerie, expanding cloud. But a few scientists have proposed a far darker theory. What if GJ1214b is not just an ordinary planet, but a remnant? Some have suggested that it could be the leftover core of a destroyed gas giant, stripped of its outer layers by some unseen cosmic force. If that's true, then the planet we see today is only a ghost of what it once was, a planetary corpse, drifting through space, still holding secrets we may never uncover. But here's the most chilling part. Some models suggest that its strange, thick atmosphere could support something. Not life as we know it, but something alien, thriving in the endless, suffocating mist. A world covered in clouds. A world with no visible surface. A world that hides whatever is lurking inside. And GJ1214b is not alone. Because next, we'll explore the story of a planet that vanished so completely, some believe it never existed at all. Some planets appear out of nowhere. Others seem to slip through reality itself, disappearing without a trace. And that's exactly what happened with Fomalhaut b, a planet that was discovered, celebrated, and then, suddenly, ceased to exist. It all started in 2008 when astronomers using the Hubble Space Telescope made a historic announcement. They had directly imaged an exoplanet, a feat that was nearly impossible at the time. Unlike most exoplanets, which are detected indirectly through their gravitational effects or their dimming of a star, Fomalhaut b was visible. There it was, a bright, solid-looking object orbiting the young, massive star Fomalhaut, about 25 light-years away. For years, scientists observed it, tracked its movement, and studied its bizarre elliptical orbit. Some believed that its odd path suggested a violent past, perhaps a collision between two smaller planets. Others speculated that it might be a giant world cloaked in a vast cloud of dust. Then, something impossible happened. By 2014, Fomalhaut b started fading. The once bright planet became dimmer and dimmer, until eventually it was gone. Completely. No trace, no explanation, no evidence that it had ever been there in the first place. Astronomers were stunned. How could a physical planet just vanish? At first they thought it might have been a gas giant that somehow lost its atmosphere. But that theory didn't fit. Even a planet shedding its outer layers wouldn't just disappear entirely. Then, another, more unsettling theory emerged. What if Fomalhaut b was never a planet at all? Some scientists now believe that what Hubble actually saw was not a planet, but the aftermath of a colossal collision. A cloud of debris, expanding outward from an impact between two icy worlds. If this is true, then Fomalhaut b was never a stable world. It was a ghost planet, already in the process of dissolving the moment we first saw it. But this explanation raises a chilling question. How many other planets out there are not really planets at all? What if some worlds are temporary? Fleeting, unstable objects that only exist for a brief cosmic moment before disintegrating into nothing. And what if Fomalhaut b was real, but something else removed it from existence? A hidden force we don't yet understand? Because this isn't the first time something like this has happened. There's another case, even stranger, a planet that multiple astronomers swore they saw, that was studied and recorded, until one day the universe itself seemed to erase it. And it happened in our own solar system. Imagine an entire planet hidden in plain sight, a world that scientists believed in, mapped, and even named. A planet that astronomers were certain existed, until one day it was wiped from history. This is the story of Vulcan, the lost world of our solar system. In the 19th century, something strange was happening to Mercury. Its orbit wasn't behaving the way it should. Just like with Neptune and Planet X, astronomers assumed that an unseen planet, a hidden world closer to the Sun than Mercury, was affecting its movement. French mathematician Urbain Le Verrier was convinced of its existence. And why wouldn't he be? After all, he had used the same mathematical techniques to predict Neptune's location before anyone had ever seen it. If it worked once, it had to work again. So he gave the hidden planet a name, Vulcan. Then, something astonishing happened. In 1859, An amateur astronomer named Edmund Lescarbault claimed he had seen Vulcan, a small dark object crossing the sun's surface. Others soon followed, reporting similar sightings. For decades, astronomers searched for Vulcan. Newspapers reported new discoveries. Some scientists even calculated its orbit as if it were already confirmed. It was treated as fact. But there was one problem. Vulcan wasn't real. As telescopes became more advanced, the sighting stopped. No one could find Vulcan again. The strange pull on Mercury's orbit, it wasn't caused by a hidden planet, it was due to the warping effects of space-time itself, predicted by Einstein's theory of general relativity. In other words, the evidence for Vulcan had never been real. It was just an illusion caused by our own misunderstanding of physics. And just like that, Vulcan was erased. It went from being a proven planet to a scientific ghost. A world that had existed only in the minds of astronomers, a planet that was discovered, studied, named and believed in, before being completely forgotten. But here's what makes this even more chilling. Vulcan isn't the only world that science has added, then removed. Throughout history, we've discovered and then lost planets over and over again. And that raises an unsettling question. What if we're doing it right now? What if, somewhere in our star maps, among the thousands of exoplanets we've catalogued, there are phantoms hiding in plain sight? What if some of the worlds we believe in today will, in 100 years, be dismissed as illusions, or worse, be erased from existence by forces we don't yet understand? Because the universe is full of mysteries. Some planets appear and disappear before our eyes. Some exist in strange, impossible states. And some might not be planets at all. So the next time you hear about a newly discovered world, remember, not every planet stays. Not every discovery is real. And some planets might be watching us even if we can't see them. Space is filled with mysteries we still can't explain. If you want to dive deeper into the strangest and most mind-blowing cosmic phenomena, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. And let me know in the comments, do you think there are still phantom planets out there? Or are these just mistakes and illusions? I'll be watching the comments, so let's uncover the truth together. Until next time, keep looking up, because the universe is always watching back.